of what was found. So Sharon alluded to this. A Louisville Metro police officer unleashed his police dog on a 14-year-old black boy who was spotted lying on the ground, leading to severe injuries and hospitalization. According to the report, the officer was leading his dog to search for a person suspected of a home invasion. After searching for several minutes, the officer saw the teenager lying on the ground, face down in the grass. So obviously, an immediate deadly threat. Immediately after noticing the teen, the officer deployed his dog off leash without giving any warning and ordered the dog to bite the teen at least 7 times. This is a 14-year-old boy who was laying face down in grass. During the encounter, the teen remained prone, pleaded, okay, help, get the dog, please, as the officer continued to stand over him and shout orders for about 30 seconds while the dog was chewing on his arm. At one point, the officer shouted, "Stop fighting my dog," despite video showing that was not happening. The teen suffered severe injuries on his arm and back and was admitted to a children's hospital. So protect and serve indeed. In another case, a report indicated that another police dog incident, there was the DOJ that said officers found a white man lying face up on his back in his boxers with his hands up. Again, a defensive position, if anything, not aggressive. The man tried to comply with the officer's orders while the dog continued to bite his foot for nearly a minute. And I don't know if you've ever been bitten by a dog out there in the audience, like even just a bite that happens and moves on. I've never had a dog chew on my body for a second, let alone a minute. But I imagine that that's pretty horrific. Horrific is the emotional response that I would have. Not everyone would have that. Apparently these cops thought it was perfectly acceptable because they stood there watching as a person was chewed on for a minute by a dog trained to potentially kill people. Sharon, what do you think?
I want to know everybody who watched it. I want everyone who watched it identified, not just the monster who unleashed it. And then I want to know what supervisors, if any, saw the footage. And I also want to know if the footage was in black and white, because it takes me back decades. You know, I'm thinking things that John Lewis, may he rest, marched for. That's really what we're talking about here, okay? Let me attack you, let me beat you, let me have a dog chew on your foot, and then complain that you're not complying. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, utterly ridiculous. So those are a couple of the specifics. We want to talk a little bit about some of the broader conclusions. They say in this report, for years, LMPD has practiced an aggressive style of policing that it deploys selectively, especially against black people, but also against vulnerable people throughout the city. LMPD cites people for minor offenses like wide turns and broken taillights, while serious crimes like sexual assault and homicide go unsolved. They're too busy looking at the broken taillights, I guess, or maybe those are just the easy ones. And the murder and stuff, that's just difficult. Who has the time? Also, political bias was baked into LMPD. One July 2018 department document said the extremist 3%ers group believe law enforcement has been handcuffed by politics and want to help us do what they think is right. They adopted the 3%ers description of themselves as patriotic citizens who love their country, their freedoms, and their liberty. I would love to know exactly how they define their, because I feel like that includes some people, but very much does not include other people. And so they also routinely violated the rights of people engaging in protected political speech, particularly when that speech was critical of law enforcement. They would be